welcome to Live Interactive English. Hello everyone, I'm Mike.
And I'm Winnie.
And today we are looking at part 1 of our 2-day article all about breaking. No, we're not breaking windows, we're not breaking legs, and we're not breaking the rules. We're break dancing.
Yes, break dancing.
Kind of like breaking the rules of dancing.
And maybe breaking your legs if you're not careful.
True, but you don't want to be breaking the rules in this case because we're doing break dancing at the Olympics.
Yes.
And you know if it's the Olympics, there has to be rules, right?
Yeah, I think if anything, that's the only time where break dancing, you've got to be really strict with the rules.
Very true. And we don't want people to get in trouble with breaking at the Olympics because it's the first time this sport has appeared in the Olympics. It's all very exciting. So we're going to be learning both about breakdancing as a sport and as a dance style, a little bit of the history, and also how it's going to work and where it's going to be during this year's Summer Olympics from Paris.
I guess we're not going to be seeing much of the robot.
I would hope to see the robot.
Maybe they will, kind of revive it.
Or maybe there's a robot rule and you'll be breaking the rules if you do the robot.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe they put that rule in because they knew that we would win all the medals.
Exactly, because we're just too good.
It's so amazing. Yeah,
we will dive into this episode.
We'll do that. You're good. Maybe I'll just be the coach. I think you should be the star athlete. All right, so let's check out all about breaking from the streets of New York to the Paris Olympics and beyond.
The first modern Summer Olympics took place in Athens, Greece in 1896. Since then, only 5 sports, athletics, cycling, fencing, gymnastics, and swimming, have featured in every Olympiad. Other sports have been added or dropped over the years to match changing public interests. This summer, it's the turn of breaking to make its very first appearance. Although this is the first time that breaking will be seen in the Olympics, the dance is far from new. It came into existence in the 1970s in the Bronx area of New York City. Dancers would show their creative moves in dance clubs or even on the streets.
Okay, so yes, breaking from the streets of New York to the Paris Olympics. We should point out that breaking will be the official name of the sport in the Olympics.
So not break dancing.
Not break dancing, that's right. So if you're looking for it on the Summer Olympics sports schedule, look for the event called breaking. So let's find out all about the Olympics and breaking and how this wonderful marriage came to be.
So starting with the article, the first modern Summer Olympics took place in Athens, Greece in 1896.
I remember. I was there, young man, wearing my short pants, watching the Olympic athletes.
Not breakdancing yet?
In the late night. No, not breakdancing. We hadn't invented that yet. No. In fact, we hadn't invented airplanes then. Yeah. So,
So you had to walk there, actually.
I did. I swam there. Yeah, I swam to Greece all the way from Canada. And since that time, what kind of sports have we seen most frequently?
Well, since then, only 5 sports: athletics, cycling, fencing, gymnastics, and swimming have featured in every Olympiad.
Really? I would have thought maybe horse jumping might have been in there because that's kind of an old-fashioned
Well, maybe it was hard
sport.
to get horses onto the island.
That's true.
Maybe they only had donkeys.
That's true. Or maybe all the horses were busy, doing stuff.
Going to war.
Because horses had jobs back then.
Pulling everyone.
Waiting around to be taken to the Olympics. But yes, all of these 5 sports have featured in every single Olympics since 1896. That's actually
very impressive.
Quite amazing.
Yeah. So we have this word feature, okay, and that's our verb. And it basically just means to showcase something or to appear in. So you'll often hear or see the word, for example, Adele has a new song featuring John Legend, okay? So John Legend isn't in the entire song, but it features him. So he's in parts of the song. So for example, the musician has featured in many hit songs. So as we were saying, there are these sports that are kind of always featured in every Olympics.
Yeah, we often use the phrase to appear in the same way we might use the word feature. Like a lot of celebrities appear in this movie or feature in this movie.
Exactly.
If you love big famous people, go and see it. So 5 sports have featured in all the Olympics in 1896. Yeah, some sports have come and gone, right? I think baseball was in there, then it was out. Maybe it's back in, I don't know.
Yeah.
As it says, other sports have been added or dropped over the years to match changing public interests.
And I think that's really good because as the public changes, you know, we're not, it's great to have those, you know, sporting events that we always know will be there.
Sure, the classics.
Yeah, but then, for example, like some people like Winter Olympics, some people like Summer Olympics, you know, you kind of give everyone options.
Absolutely. And then sports, you know, have times when they're more popular or less popular. New sports come in.
True.
But obviously, you know, running fast, jumping far, swimming quickly. These are some classic ones. But it says this summer, it's the turn of breaking to make its very first appearance.
Right.
They did not break dance in the 1800s.
That we know of.
They did not break, well, yeah, maybe in Chinese theater they kind of did
some acrobatics.
similar moves, but not really the break dancing that we know today. It's pretty new.
Yeah, so continuing on with the article, although this is the first time that breaking will be seen in the Olympics, the dance is far from new. It came into existence in the 1970s in the Bronx area of New York City.
Ah, yes, I remember it well. I was a young man in short pants spinning on my head in the mean streets of the Bronx.
You've lived a life, huh?
I have lived a life, and I lie about it all the time. And what would people do when they were breakdancing back then in the early 70s in New York?
Well, so continuing on, dancers would show their creative moves in dance clubs or even on the streets.
Absolutely. At parties, at block parties, at get-togethers, and of course, when you do dance, along with any other type of art, that allows you to be creative. If you are creative, you use your creativity, that's the noun form, or your imagination, as we might also call it, to do new things, especially to make new kinds of art, to express yourself in new and interesting ways that hopefully people will go, and wow, and gosh, and that's really good, and here's $1 million, I would like your painting. Yay, being creative can be fun. It might make you some money, but really you should do it because it's fun and it allows you to express yourself and to have the world better understand you and your complicated emotions. Or it's just fun to do with your friends on the street corner.
And it's free.
And it's free too. Well, doing it is free. Watching it can cost a lot of money.
You're right.
Buying tickets. All right, let's get to our sentence here. It says, Jill brought many creative ideas to her boss. Many wonderful, new, imaginative, and unique ideas. Good for you, Jill. She breakdanced on her boss's desk and got the big contract.
Well, as we can see, when we see on the roster for the Olympic events, we're going to see breaking, and that doesn't mean breaking things, hopefully.
No.
So it's our new event, and we're going to take a break.
I see what you did there, breaking with the break.
Right now.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课文标题是 Breaking from the streets of New York to the Paris Olympics。霹雳舞从纽约街头到巴黎奥运。那么课文一开始先从奥运讲起，他提到说第一届现代夏季奥运是在这个1896年在希腊雅典举行。从那时起呢，就只有5项运动：田径、自行车、击剑、体操和游泳，这是每一届奥林匹克运动会上都会有的项目。那么多年来，有其他运动被加入或者是排除，来因应不断改变的大众兴趣。而今年夏天就轮到了霹雳舞，这是第一次霹雳舞出现在奥运会上。可是其实这种舞蹈并不是新创的，它在1970年代就出现在纽约市的布朗克斯区。那舞者们就会在舞厅甚至是街道来秀出他们的创意舞步。好，单字 feature 当动词，它表示以什么为特色，扮演要角，或者是在什么当中为重点推出的部分。我们可以用 feature in 加上名词去表达是什么的重点部分。 Winnie 老师在解释单字时用到 showcase，showcase 它可以表达充分展示、展现，像是展现优点等等。再来 creative， 它是形容词，形容富有创意的，与创意有关的。它的名词是 creativity， 则表示创意、创造力。好，这边3个重点，我们进入文法时间。我们来看第一个重点是表示举行、举办的说法。动词 hold 跟 take place 都可以表达举行、举办。那我们来看看它们的用法。第一种呢，你可以用到人或者是主办单位加上 hold 再加活动。例如 Betty is holding a party tonight。Betty 今晚将举办一场派对。第二个用法是活动加上 be held， 那么之后可以接 by 加上人或主办单位，像 The festival was held by the local government， 那个节庆由当地政府主办。那第三个用法，你可以用到活动加上 take place， 那注意 take place 它没有被动用法。例如 Where will the concert take place？ 那场演唱会将会办在哪里呢？好，那第二个重点是 turn 的用法。我们来看看 turn 在课文里面的几种用法。首先，第一种是 turn 当名词，它是指依次轮到的机会。那可以用 It is somebody's turn， 或者是 It is the turn of something。to 再加原形动词，表达轮到什么什么做某事。例如 It's your turn to speak， 轮到你发言了。那另外还可以用 take turns 加上动词 ing 来表达轮流做某事，这时候 turns 固定用复数形。例如 The kids took turns playing on the slide， 小朋友们轮流玩溜滑梯。好，第二个我们可以拿 turn 当及物动词来表达使变得，那么 turn A into B 就表示把 A 变成 B。举例来说 They turned the old factory into a museum， 他们把那栋老旧工厂改造成一间博物馆。好，那第三个重点是 be far from 是表达一点也不。那这个片语用来强调一点也不怎么样，远非怎么样怎么样。from 的后面可以接形容词、名词或动名词。例如 The exam was far from easy， 那个考试一点也不简单。好，接着回到课文中。
At first, breaking was primarily popular among local African American and Latino youths. However, by the 1990s, it had a global appeal, and international tournaments were taking place around the world. Now, the best breakers on the planet are getting ready to battle it out on the world's biggest stage, the Olympic Games.
Welcome back from the break.
Breaking on the break. I like it.
Yeah, where we actually learned that breaking isn't a new thing. It's actually been around since the 1970s, and the origins are, well, most likely from the Bronx area in New York City. And it was just a really great outlet or a place for people to express themselves, especially in a time where a lot of dancing was very formal and very sort of, follow the rules, but I think breaking broke some rules.
Absolutely. At that time, of course, a lot of new culture was coming out of places like Harlem and the Bronx in New York. It says at first, breaking was primarily popular or mainly popular among local African American and Latino youths. And remember, this is the Bronx section of New York in the 1970s. African American, Latino youths. Many of them were from Puerto Rico, those Latino youths. However, by the 1990s, it had a global appeal. Even by the 1980s, it had a global appeal, and international tournaments were taking place around the world. Yeah, that's a good point. 1970s, it kind of was born. 80s, it spread. By the 90s, it was getting organized.
Yeah,
and people had big
sure.
battles and contests and winners, and you even got like shoe companies sponsoring these things. It became like almost like a real sport type of thing.
And in some cases, a job for some people.
For sure.
Yeah, and I think because, for example, if you are playing basketball or football, you would need to buy a ball or, some equipment. But breaking, you really only need yourself and maybe a pair of shoes.
And a box on the floor.
Yeah, and you could just take that from the garbage.
There you go.
So we have the word primarily, which is our adverb, and it basically just means mostly or for the most part. Yes. So our example sentence, the video game is primarily popular with young men. And as we saw just now, breakdancing was primarily popular with African Americans and Latino.
There you go. Mainly. Now it means other people could do it. Other people could be playing that video game, but it's mostly the majority would be young men. And when we talk about it going global, after starting off in New York and then going global, global is just an adjective meaning the world, the entire world and all the people in it. So if we're talking about global news, we're talking about international news, not news from your hometown, your home country, news from all around the world. If you'd like to do a lot of global travel in your future, that means you'd like to go to many different countries and visit many different places and meet people from all over the world. Global people, the global population, we might say. The news story received global attention. It was a big story everywhere in the world. From Alaska to Australia, they were all talking about it.
Right, and global deriving from the word globe. And as most of you know, the Earth is a globe or a sphere.
It is?
It's not flat.
It isn't?
No.
Oh.
So that's how we get that word global from. Then we also have our word appeal, and that is our noun, and it just means an interest or fascination of something. So you could say, I don't understand the appeal of ice cream. To me, it tastes bad. I would like to say that this is an example sentence. This is not Winnie saying this, because I love ice cream, and I 100% get the appeal for that.
Absolutely. It has quite a big appeal, especially in hot days like we're living through now. Back to the article now. The best breakers on the planet are getting ready to battle it out on the world's biggest stage, the Olympic Games.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, absolutely. Breaking's been popular with millions of people globally for a very long time, but it has never had the attention that it's going to have as being part of the Olympics.
Yeah.
This is a whole new level of popularity, and I'm sure it's going to be very exciting, both for the breakers, the fans, and a lot of people around the world who've probably never really seen this style of dancing except maybe in a music video or in the 1982 classic Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo. One of the finest films ever made.
But like you were saying, I think this is going to shed a light on this art form because there are, breakdancing is not new and it's been followed by many passionate people, even those who don't dance themselves, because there are a lot of movies that have been influenced by breakdancing, but never on an Olympic level. So I do think there might be some new fans from people who usually watch the Olympics.
Absolutely.
Right? And they're going to be introduced to this new art form. But I am very excited to dive into this on the next episode.
Yeah, we're going to find out more about how it is actually going to happen at the Olympics when they have the first ever Olympic breaking competition. So why don't you boogie on that back for that tomorrow, and we will see you then. And we will say goodbye as robots. Bye-bye.
See you
tomorrow.
next time.
刚刚说到，霹雳舞在1970年代就出现在纽约市的布朗克斯区。那么起初，这种舞主要是在当地的非裔美国人和拉丁裔年轻人当中流行。而到了1990年代，它在全球各地都受到欢迎，在世界各地都有举行的国际锦标赛。那么如今，全球最厉害的霹雳舞者准备就要在奥运会上，在这个世界上最大的舞台一决高下了。好，单字。Primarily 这个副词就表示主要的、根本的。那么 global 它是形容全球的、全世界的。Winnie 老师在解释单字时有提到 sphere S-P-H-E-R-E sphere 表示球体、球形。下一个单字 appeal 它是当名词来表达吸引力、魅力。老师这时候有提到一个名词是 fascination 它是拼作 F-A-S-C-I-N-A-T-I-O-N Fascination 就表示着迷或是魅力。Winnie 老师刚刚还有说到，霹雳舞是让人表达自我的一种管道。那这时候老师用到 outlet，O-U-T-L-E-T， outlet 它可以表达这个宣泄情感或精力的途径。好，那么以上这些讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
The first modern Summer Olympics took place in Athens, Greece in 1896. Since then, only 5 sports, athletics, cycling, fencing, gymnastics, and swimming, have featured in every Olympiad. Other sports have been added or dropped over the years to match changing public interests. This summer, it's the turn of breaking to make its very first appearance. Although this is the first time that breaking will be seen in the Olympics, the dance is far from new. It came into existence in the 1970s in the Bronx area of New York City. Dancers would show their creative moves in dance clubs or even on the streets. At first, breaking was primarily popular among local African American and Latino youths. However, by the 1990s, it had a global appeal, and international tournaments were taking place around the world. Now, the best breakers on the planet are getting ready to battle it out on the world's biggest stage, the Olympic Games.
Hey, Shane.
Hey, Winnie. Here, I got you some coffee.
Thank you.
It has been so long since we last met. How have you been?
Yes, it's been way too long. I've been really good. Things have been really, really good.
I'm really happy to hear that. You know that thing that happened last year? I really want to apologize for that. I was totally out of line.
It's okay. It's water under the bridge. Let's just forget about it.
Okay. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
I broke some down.
Hi, everyone. Today's idiom is water under the bridge.
Yes, and it doesn't always mean literal water flowing under a bridge.
Correct. The phrase water under the bridge is used when we want to say that past disagreements or problems are not important or relevant anymore. It means to let go of the past and move on.
It's like water that has flowed under a bridge. It has passed and cannot be brought back.
Precisely. For example, if you had a fight with your friend a long time ago and now you're friends again, you could say that the fight is water under the bridge.
Or if you had a disagreement with your colleague, but you've since resolved your differences, the disagreement is water under the bridge.
Right. And the key to using this idiom is in situations where past disagreements or problems have been resolved and are no longer a concern.
Exactly. So remember, next time you want to express the idea of letting go of the past and moving on, you can always just use the phrase water under the bridge. That's all we have for today.
See you guys next time.